Krista Smith from West Coast editor of Vanity Fair joins me now on The Rich Eisen Show. Rich is taking the day off. He needs it. He needs a break, Krista. But I want to know, see, I know you, and I know right now that your heart and mind is not with them all, but is with Peyton Manning and John Fox and the dismantling of the Denver Broncos, because as connected as you are in Hollywood, that's where you are right now.
Yeah, that was a rough day yesterday, or what was it? It's all blurred into one on Sunday. It was hideous. I was actually getting ready for the Globes, and I'm just going to call her Amal Clooney.
Right.
Let's just do that moving forward. It's a lot easier for me, and I think everybody. But back to the Broncos. Yeah, that was really rough. I had to get ready. I actually had to be at the Beverly Hilton before the end of the game. But as we know, the last time I was on here, John Hamm, who phoned in the last time we were here. He was texting me as we went along, blow by blow, and then I just got a text that said over, and that was it, and it was brutal.
It's cold.
Brutal. It was horrible. I don't know what's going on. It was, sadly, you kind of do know what's going on. I mean, like you said earlier, walking through that gate, it was kind of pretty clear. The opening drive, they looked great, and then from then on, they did not, and inability to come back in that second half at Mile High to lose to the Colts. I mean, it's just it's a sad day, and Denver, sad week. Makes a great season. Seem like we've already forgotten what happened during the season. We kind of just take that one game and isolate it.
Right. You have to be so disappointed, though, I would think. And again, we're going to talk Globes, we'll talk entertainment, but as a Broncos fan...
Crushed.
Yeah,
crushed.
Yeah, I know.
I'm crushed. And as a fan,
crush.
you sit there and you think of, like, how could this have happened? We got to the Super Bowl, and I lived through the Elway era, right? That's when I was growing up. It was John Elway and tumbleweeds. That was basically Denver, Colorado. Oh, yeah, and some Rocky Mountains. But, you know, basically, it was Elway Nation. And so we had already had this heartbreak where you get all the way there and then you lose by this ridiculous spread. It's a really poor showing. So to see that happen with Peyton Manning as the leader, last year's Super Bowl, and then to get to this point, we've got home field advantage. It's all very exciting. This is a no-brainer. There's no easy wins in football, but this shouldn't have played out the way it did. And I think the Colts are going to go into New England and get crushed. And it's going to be even more apparent how poorly the Broncos played.
Well, if you want to come over on Sunday, Chris Brockman will be there. Chris Law's not in because I'm basically kicking him out for insolence. That being said, we will serve you pizza, not from Lenova. Earlier on the Rich Eisen Show, we uncovered some photo evidence of Rex Ryan being delivered a giant pizza from Lenova Pizza in Buffalo. And that being said, I'm inviting you to come watch this game on Sunday.
Are you going to be able to do the blue and spinach and ricotta again? That was pretty amazing how they...
It's incredible.
Some good food die.
My favorite quote of the Globes, of course, was Amal was getting dressed. Was George Clooney said that he basically watched football all day Saturday while his wife was getting dressed, and then watched all day football Sunday. And I know they were watching on their mobile apps heading into the Globes. But what was your biggest surprise coming out of the Globes, besides the fact that maybe it wasn't a surprise, but the perfection of how Amal looked? Besides that, what do you take away from the Globes looking ahead at the award season?
Well, I'll just take a time out to talk about Amal Clooney. You know, there was trending. Amal's gloves were trending on social media. I know you've got the Chris and Chris over here.
Right.
One bald, one beard. That's how I tell them apart.
Smart.
Just for all the people that aren't watching.
Right.
It was crazy. People were weighing in on to glove or not to glove. I mean, I thought the girls did great. Amy and Tina were amazing. I missed them already. 3 years, it went by like a flash. I don't know who they're going to get to replace them. They're fantastic. I was really surprised that Amy Adams won, but that was very exciting. Colorado girl, also very disappointed in the Broncos, so it was good we had something to celebrate that night.
Right.
And it also is a really good kind of barometer of how the Oscars are going to go. Usually the Globes kind of kicks it off. It's looser and sexier. Everyone can kind of drink and hang out a little bit more, less
Kevin
formality.
Spacey taking his glass of wine up to...
he did.
I love that. But I like House of Cards, too.
Yes. And that was a big, also for the alternative networks like Netflix and Amazon, it was huge. None of that can be underestimated about these shows winning Best Actor, Best Series. Like, it was a big, big, big. That's the first time that's ever happened. So that was a huge win for those networks. And also, it's just announced that Woody Allen now is going to be doing a show for Amazon. So we're going to be hearing a lot of headlines about this kind of stuff moving forward.
We're going to have you on, hopefully, the day after the Vanity Fair party, the day after the award show, if you can actually walk. What do you expect? Like, what do you think is going to be the best movie of the year?
Geez, that is such a toss-up. It could go anywhere, but I think it's leading. I would say Vegas odds probably have Boyhood, the Rich Linklater movie that they shot basically 2 weeks every year for the course of 12 years, watched a boy and a family grow up over the course of 12 years. And I think that pretty much that cinematic feat alone, also Richard Linklater is very well liked, has a great body of work. Ethan Hawke, Patricia Arquette play the parents. That seems to be heading towards an Oscar.
All right. Krista Smith joining us on The Rich Eisen Show. She is the West Coast editor of Vanity Fair, a great friend of mine and a huge Broncos homer. Chris and Chris want to know if they can cover the Vanity Fair arrivals with a camera. I think what they're trying to do is backdoor their way into the party, and I let them know that basically I'm on the outside looking in unless Rich Eisen's available, like no matter what, like I'm a +1. Could they be +2 and 3?
Inside?
Well, I mean, like, they'd have to
you
clean
ever
up.
seen
What about outside?
I mean, have you ever seen either one of them in a tuxedo?
Yes, I've been to the Oscars red carpet twice.
You have. You know, I think, you know, Hollywood's about dreams, Susie. Right. People come here, they dream big, you know, so why not for them? Maybe someday.
Well, you mentioned Tina and Amy no longer hosting next year. I have a fantastic idea for next year's hosts.
You guys, you think you could do it?
If Hollywood is for dreams, feel free to crush this one right now. Because I'm just saying, like...
Oh, no.
That might be a little bit of a stretch.
Right.
But you know what also is a little bit of a stretch? Your Boston accent.
It's not good, right?
It's not good. You got to spend a little bit more time in the home state. I mean, didn't you grow up there?
But you know my mother. You've met my mother before. I mean, she's like, hello, I can't come to the phone right now.
I was expecting a real, like, Southie, you know, Mark Wahlberg. Come on, like, a little bit more.
I've never been to Southie. I've driven by it.
I'll even take a Back Bay Boston accent, okay? It doesn't have to be Southie, but that was not even there.
You didn't like it?
That was not even adjacent.
That was a good masshole accent, I thought. Brockman, thoughts? No? All right, fine. Krista Smith will come back. Will you come back after the Academy Awards? Because basically, we just like having you in studio.
Tomorrow,
Bring the jumbo picture next time, because Angelina gets more love here.
Oh, yeah, well, Rosamund Pike, Gone Girl, guys.
I got it.
She looks great, and she's probably going to get an Oscar nomination. That movie is
Gone Girl into Brockman's bag and on the way home.
That's right, and on my way home. I'll read it tonight.
Krista, are you ready for before we let you go, are you ready for the Brock Osweiler era?
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's such a mean thing to say.
That was really cool.
By the way, your Vanity Fair party invite is out.
He's not that smart.
I want to know, does everyone here think that Peyton Manning's going to retire?
Yes.
I mean, is that pretty much...
I think they should trade him to the Cardinals, but I think he's going to retire.
Yeah.
I think he's done.
I'm sad about this. I really hate that that's going to be the last shot that we see of him. But, I mean, look, you know, as he said, 57 ways to smile.
Yeah. That's
so
pretty good.
What do we have when we come back?
Well, we do have, as we said earlier, John Elway did speak to the media. He addressed the John Fox situation, kind of where things went wrong there, and also hit on Peyton Manning's future. So when we come back, we'll play a little bit of that. For the
do we have sound ready?
Sound is ready.
Sound is still being diced and sliced.
Yeah. We're efforting. That's what they say in television. We're efforting. So, all right, when we come back on The Rich Eisen Show, we will hear then from GM John Elway, and hopefully he'll shine some light on what exactly is happening over there in Denver. But that's ahead on The Rich Eisen Show. Hour 3 is what, midway through? Is this the bottom of the hour? Top, bottom? I can't even tell anymore. Stay put. We'll be much more after this. What do you think about Peyton Manning when you saw him leaving that stadium?
Well, I wonder about, obviously I'm not a professional athlete, and let alone in the NFL, that would be impossible, but I wonder the psychology of going through that tunnel is at some point in his mind, knowing what we now know, that he was really pretty badly injured and playing that way since December. Does he think this is his last game?
Right.
Like, what's that kind of mental anguish that's going on in that brain? Or is it just basically the next quarter, the next 60 minutes, that's all I'm thinking about?
And John Elway just now saying that he and John Fox they didn't have a meeting of the minds. They didn't know where they were going next. They couldn't make a decision, and he didn't feel like they were on the same page. And clearly that shows us, as they did walk out, I mean, you had to know Fox was going to go. I mean, there's no way, unless he sat with Peyton and said, do you want me to keep him? I feel like Jay Glazer was on earlier. We talked about it a bit, but If Peyton was definitely coming back, there's no chance he would rebuild and for one last shot at it. So I have to say I'm sorry to you. I feel as bad for you as I do for Rich Eisen with that win last night. But before you go, we should probably talk about the moment of the Globes, which was Jeremy Renner basically congratulating J.Lo on her own Globes. Is that a nice way to put it? I mean, come on.
Well, there was a lot of skin and a lot of great fashion at the Globes, which there always is, which makes for a lot of good chatter like this. Now,
they're the Globes, but they're covered by the Eisen Extra, which is only fitting.
Well, J.Lo looked hot. And seeing her like up close and personal, she looked amazing. And I remember over the years when Vanity Fair shot her, she actually came with her own giant tub of like lotion that actually had J-Glow written on it. So although she does look like that pretty much every day, waking up in the morning, and if she were sitting here, she would look that good. I think she has a special little magic potion that makes her even glisten
So it's like Soul Glow, but only for J.Lo.
Yeah, I think so.
She looks Kate Hudson seemed to forget to wear a dress.
Susie, Kate Hudson looked so gorgeous.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.